This episode of Super GG Radio is brought to you by our Patreon. Patrons of the show can get our Dogs of Super GG Radio newsletter, Super GG Radio stickers to slap on your closest PC or bag, input on what we cover, game nights with the hosts, and even a chance to win a copy of an indie we talked about. Not only that, but 90% of all patron contributions go to the Children's Miracle Network of hospitals. Visit patreon.com/superggradio to learn more.
What's good, Internet, and welcome to session 268 of Super GG Radio, where friends chat about video games and all things adjacent. This week, we got a real humdinger of an episode filled with just enough tight jeans to make the fans go wild. I'm your host and jean shorts of the podcast, Eric Getty Gettinger. With me, as always, is Flood Pants of the podcast, Alex Arona.
I don't know if I like this association. It's too much ankle for me.
I thought that would be an acceptable.
You gotta hide
amount
your
of
shame,
exposure.
Getty. Hide them slutty ankles.
I
Just keep it conservative.
Okay.
It's too much skin.
I think that you got off easy here, but I don't know.
That's them's for the private times. You want to see ankle? Ooh, you gotta pay.
Super GG Radio OnlyFans.
Mm-hmm.
Would you care?
I show a lot of ankle in them OnlyFans.
You want to stand up and prove it?
No, it's again. If you're good at something, why do it for free?
Well, you got to give people a taste.
No,
Which is why we don't charge for our podcast.
You got to prove that you got them ankles that people want to see, and then
you
after
find
they have
out.
a taste,
You pay to find out.
That seems like a poor investment. But anyway, next up is a man who plans on wearing white jeans all the way up until Labor Day, Joel DeWitte.
Real talk. Like, can you envision me wearing white pants?
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
No, because the only people I see, like, white pants, like, are those pictures of, those kind of ocean breezy type things where somebody's wearing, like, white pants and a button-down shirt and stuff.
Yeah, but like a real loose knit straw hat. You got like a nice cigarette and
like an open shirt that's
linen,
just got like a big
linen
bushel
shirt
of chest hair.
Yeah, open linen shirt, and then the white jeans, sandals, but tasteful sandals, not like what Alex wears.
Okay,
not the slutty ones.
So basically, when I'm like rich vacationing away from everybody and just want to feel loose and comfortable.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Bucket list right there. Sounds good.
But we need pictures too.
Oh.
Okay.
But only for personal use.
I was saying for the internet, but all right.
Again, if they want them, they gotta pay.
Nobody wants that.
We have a Patreon, but
Patreon.com/SuperGGRadio.
But it's not for that. It's never for that.
It could be for
that.
We are not as clearly defined today as one might hope. All I'm saying is that the rules can be bent. Well, this is our trial period while nobody's watching or paying attention. Let's get weird. Let's figure it out.
Let's get weird.
You're just getting weird. I feel.
I
like
have
we've
a
been
collection.
weird for a
I have a
while.
collection of Getty feet pictures. Cards.
I can find Alex feet pictures on the internet if you give me a minute. A minute.
I like how this is just becoming us slowly threatening each other.
I will send you
Equally
several pictures
assured-
of Alex eating hot dogs right now.
Yeah, that's just for everybody.
That's for public consumption.
That's for
That's
everybody.
Mutually assured destruction here.
I was told that it was a very sensual hot dog.
It was a very sensual hot dog, and there wasn't chewing involved. Let's continue, Getty. Who is up next?
It's like a duck.
Have we Have we even introduced Alec?
Nope. Last but never least, Capri Pants of the podcast, Alec Parks.
What is the difference between capris and floods, really, here?
It's like mine goes like just slightly above ankle. Yours goes slightly below knee.
Oh, okay.
You're
So,
mid-shin. You're mid-shin.
I'm good for wading into the ocean.
I kind of
You got some
assumed it was.
calf action.
I kind of assumed like flood pants were a little looser, kind of like the cargo shorts of pants.
Yeah, but cargo shorts have pockets.
I don't
Yeah, 'cause
know,
they're
man.
for
I'm
holding
just sort
cargo.
of spit.
Yeah, you're all over the place, man. Cargo means you can put cargo in them.
Yeah, but we're talking about capri pants versus flood pants. That was my presumption that flood pants maybe had bigger pockets.
No,
For floods.
It's more like if it's flooding, you get your ankles stay dry.
You put sand in your pockets and can barricade the wall.
Yeah. That sounds fair.
Okay.
Yeah, that sounds fair. It's a fair assumption.
I was going into this week thinking like, man, this is a flimsy opening, but wow, we got some mileage out of it.
We really did. We really did.
Ugh. All right. Well, if that's the tone for the night, we could just call it, right?
No, I got more to go, man.
Oh.
I'm antsy.
Alex, I'm so tired. All right. We are back at it again in Early Adopters with a triple dose of content. Alex is going to explain what a Gamescom is this week in the news,
Yep.
and then we punish everyone in the backlog. But you know what? No, I'm going to punish Joel this week.
No.
Yeah,
Why you gotta do that to me?
because
Why not?
You got it easy. You got it easy.
Now you get it hard.
Get
Phrasing.
hard.
Phrasing.
Phrasing.
Featuring Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart. Yep, Kevin Hart. I was gonna say Kevin Hart.
We watched a
Dude's
movie
like
with Kevin Hart,
5'2". He's like 5'2".
but he's always yelling.
He's always yelling.
Always,
His
I
voice
know.
is 6 foot tall.
at least.
I don't think so either. He's got also kind of a high pitched voice.
I was just talking about the volume.
Yeah, because he's so
Okay.
loud.
That makes sense. Makes sense.
He, I want to say that even in that Borderlands movie, 90% of the lines he was shouting.
Yeah, I don't think that. I mean, Kevin Hart's a shouting man. That's kind of his deal.
Kevin Hart
Says it
seems
with
like the
his
kind of
chest.
person that doesn't act. He just shows up and is some version of Kevin Hart.
That's not that you're not off base there.
But that's
I
a
would say
whole bunch of actors. Like they can
Ask
just
somebody.
do that.
No, I
didn't
feel like
say
that's
it
less
wasn't.
true.
I'm just saying he's very much that person.
I would say less so for other actors. I feel like Kevin Hart, as somebody who has not in an attempt to do so, I really haven't. I'm not a big Kevin Hart fan. I've seen no less than 8 of his films. He's just in a lot of things. He's in a lot of things. 2 Jumanjis and 2 Secret Life of Pets. That's already 4 films.
I damn it for dating Jumanji as a franchise.
Yep. It's not bad either.
That's the problem, is that I never once am like, I'm going to watch new Jumanji 2 or Jumanji 3. Those are pretty sweet movies. But anytime I'm like, well, I guess I'll watch this piece of crap. And then I'm after halfway through, I'm like, it's a pretty okay movie. It's pretty okay. Like, I'm not upset by it. And then I'm finished watching it, and I'm kind of mad that it's not that bad. Like, I'm kind of like, man, I'm never going to tell anyone I saw this.
You're upset that, well, you just did.
You know what I mean, though.
You
Like, I'm
just
not going to
admit.
say, I'm not going to tell people, hey, man, you should see that Jumanji 3 is not bad. No.
Hey guys, you should go see those Jumanji movies. They're not
You
bad.
don't need to. I'm doing it now. Don't see Jumanji 3.
It's pretty good.
I mean,
and it's
I've
got a
got-
Joe Bro in it. So
I got time on my hands right now.
I do like the Joe Bros.
see, here we go.
Nick
And now
Jonas
it's
did
gonna-
that song about bacon, and that was a pretty good song.
And Alex does love bacon.
Who
I
doesn't
do love
love
bacon.
bacon?
By that math, he likes Jumanji. Alex likes the Joe Bros. One of the Joe Bros was in
I don't
Jumanji.
think the Joe Bros are
Ergo,
that connected
Alex
to
likes
Jumanji.
Jumanji.
He's only in Jumanji 3.
Are you sure?
No.
Good, because I'm not checking. I'm just asking.
We have not talked about a video game
No,
yet.
we have not.
That's
But we
okay.
talked about a movie that is based off of a game. So
You ever played the Jumanji board game? It
Yes.
kind of sucks.
you don't have the good version.
The one that sucks
The
you into the
haunted
game
version,
and
yeah.
threatens your life for 20 decades.
Yeah,
Sure.
they reverse engineered a board game from a movie. Like that was never going to end well.
Yeah, but you always kind of hope that something cool is going to happen, or it's got like some cool mechanic. It doesn't.
Well,
It's just move 5 paces, then move into the next thing. Oh, and like I think they have sometimes you lose a turn, but outside of that, it's pretty boring.
Alex wants to be chased by a manhunter and turned into a monkey boy.
Kind of, but then it comes to those giant like dog-sized mosquitoes, and I'm like, I'm out. I just would die.
You just got to burn it with
the
fire.
mosquitoes.
I would die.
Not the stampede.
Stampede, I'm okay with.
Okay.
Alex
All right.
gets his cardio in.
Yeah. I run twice a week.
Early adopters?
Yeah.
Early adopters, where we play alphas, betas, and games that I believe have seemingly nothing in common. I did not get into the playtest for Kind Words 2, but I did get into... You will. But I did get into shenanigans with Alex as we played Space Marine 2.
Hold on. Joel and Alec, can I tell you a story?
You're going to.
He's going to, whether you like it or not.
At the con.
No, you can't.
We're at the con, and they're doing at the Fan Expo Chicago, and they're doing. Here's a pre. You can get in and play Space Marines early.
Play the demo.
I'm like,
basically.
And I'm like, yeah, let's do that. Getty, let's play Space Marines 2, and then we can talk about it. And we all sit down, fancy computers, fancy keyboard, fancy mouse, and even an Xbox controller if you want. Getty sits down and then just takes his full beer and just goes bang, and then just dumps it across the desk, the entire desk. And he did it out of sheer rage, and I didn't understand it. I thought I was frankly embarrassed. I'm like, Getty, why would you just look at them and just dump it across the desk? We're trying to clean it, and I feel like he was trying to dump more, but his cup was empty. It was weird.
When somebody asks you about this, tell them Super GG did it.
Yeah. Alex is always worried about us not getting enough press, and that was me trying.
It was very funny because it was very quick, and then he just dumped the entire thing of beer.
I looked the guy in the eye, and I said, I'm not sorry. And then I proceeded to play the game with beer all over the place.
You were really grinding it into that keyboard.
It's kind of like when your cat goes right outside the litter box and is just staring you dead in the eye. The cat is angry with you.
I don't have a cat, but I believe it. Warhammer 40K Space Marine 2. Alex, did you Space Marine enough?
I did. Space Marine 2 reminds me a lot of Gears of War, that it is a third-person over-the-shoulder shooter, and the levels they're very linear, but they do a lot of little side objectives throughout. Things like you'll have like a couple guys with you. You're killing these demon weird bug things, and you're shooting and running a gun, and you're getting ammo. You're getting new melee weapons, whatever. You're swapping them out. You can only have one main gun, one sidearm, and then a melee weapon. Which the classic one is a chainsaw sword, which is a pretty sick visual. But then they'll say like, okay, go turn on these 3 terminals, and you have to go from point to point, but the whole time it's just swarms and swarms of enemies trying to survive. You can get knocked down, people pick you back up or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you do the 3 terminals, a thing happens, and then you're like, great, keep moving that way, and you're going through and you're still shooting the swarms, and it's very shoot the swarm, here is an objective, then keep going. I feel like this would be a great podcast game. It's also 3-player co-op, so
it can
us
be.
Can get together and just like hang out and talk while we're just shooting demon bugs. Getty?
Yeah, I played the original way back in the day. I want to say that the first one came out and was not as popular, but it was really good. Solid mechanics, a lot of fun, violent, and really akin to something that you would experience with Gears of War, but completely based off of Warhammer lore. So the Space Marine being this guy in big, bulky armor, you have a lot of heft as you move. Having said that, they do give you a dodge roll option so that you can jump out of the way of any of the creepy crawlies that come after you. We got to see a good amount of the guns as you play through. It was like half an hour, I want to say, for this demo.
Yeah.
But it took you through a couple of areas, some objectives, but playing around with the weapons, that was the really fun part. There were a couple of scenes where you would have like a kind of like a kill room scenario where there's monsters that are climbing up the walls, and you got to try and get them or kill all of them so that they don't climb up and attack all of the civilians or the not very good soldiers. Being a Space Marine, you are like the pinnacle of. Think of Master Chef. You know who that guy is?
Gordon
Right,
Ramsay.
kind of like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think of Space Marine, you're like, oh yeah, he's the Halo guy, kind of. But I would argue more badass. You are just destroying monsters.
So
Yeah.
as opposed to like Doom Guy.
You have an execute button. I think Doom Guy's probably the most badass.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would go Doom Guy, Space Marine, maybe Marcus Phoenix, and then the guy from Bulletstorm, and then Nathan Drake, and then Master Chef.
Yeah.
Got it.
But I
Getting
would
out
say
here,
that is-
starting wars.
That is a comparative list. I want that copywritten. It is.
we could do that. We could
It's
do that.
canon now.
We could make a Mount Rushmore. That's a new hot thing. Mount Rushmore.
This is a canon event.
Yeah. I will also say that I think that like after having played Gears of War 1 for video game homework, I will say that Space Marines is very much in the same vein that you are heavy. Like you could hear, plodding, thudding boot steps each time, but you are slightly less heavy. Like I would say that like Gears of War, those guys weigh 300 pounds like of armor. You know what I mean? You're like you're a brick house tank, and this guy's probably weighing 250.
It's heavy armor.
So it's heavy, but he's still a little bit more nimble, a little bit faster, and that's kind of more what I liked was that I was moving around a little snappier than what I would with the Gears. But you aren't snapping to cover. It's not a cover shooter.
Okay.
Violent. That's the
Gory.
last thing I have to say.
Very gory. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Ultra violent? Yes.
Kinda. Yeah, some good glory kills.
A lot of Alex screaming at me while we're trying to play. If you haven't had that experience in your life, it's worth it once or twice. It was a really nice setup. The keyboard, mouse, everything was like top of the line. We had very nice headphones, but then I would just hear like, "Gaddy, Gaddy, it got me again! Hey, did you
I'm
get
down.
here?"
Man down.
Yeah,
Who was it? Guardian down.
Guardian down.
Now, you said there was 3 players. Do all 3 Space Marines play the same, or do they have different abilities?
We did not get to
So-
play the multiplayer.
Like, yeah, we didn't get to play the multiplayer, but as you are looking at this lovely game page on Steam, it looks like multiplayer will allow you to pick from 6 different classes, but that's the PvP. What makes it you different in the gameplay is the weapons that you choose, really.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't think that you're going to be getting skill trees or anything like that. It's just the weapons.
But, during PvP, probably a bit different. Regular gameplay, just pick the weapons you like. It's the most I can recommend. It's a really fun game. If you get the opportunity, I'm sure that the first one will be on sale at some point. Give it a go. It's old enough, but still really good.
And I really like if you like Gears, you're going to like this. So,
All right.
yep.
Space Marine 2 coming out
September
very
9th.
very soon.
Yep. Now
Next
what's
up,
next, Getty?
you guys are going to tell me about Kind Words 2 because I have no idea what that is.
Ooh, very drastic difference.
Yes.
Contrast.
Nothing
And
in
I was
common.
also going to say if there was ever a game that I'm like, okay, I got signed up for the play test here. They let me in. I had to get emotionally ready because I knew I was going. Like I'm like, I'm going to play this for 20 minutes. I guarantee I'm going to be crying, and that's exactly what happened. I started crying.
Oh
Very
my!
quickly. The original Kind Words, I purchased it just on pure, hey, I think this is a good thing. And what it is was that you don't even have anything. It's just you can receive anonymous letters and you reply to them. And it's very heavily moderated, so that they're really trying to make this just like someone reaching out and saying, I'm feeling lonely, and you write them back saying, no, you got this. Just a really nice thing. And you could also write a letter out into the ether and then come back and people will respond to you. So that was the whole premise. And now with Kind Words 2, they've expanded it to the point that you can they now offer there's a little town, and the game has you like, okay, sit in your house and do the thing, do the Kind Words thing, and you're like, great, this is the same game. But then they say go outside, and now if you go up, like, now there's different points in this town. Go up on the hill. Okay, now you can just give a wish that that will go up on the stars, and you can either like stargaze. If you stargaze, it'll show you other people's wishes. I wish my and some of it's like really just normal stuff, but some of it's like, again, really heartfelt stuff. Like, I wish that my mom was nicer or something like that. It's like, oh, that's sad. And then there's some that it's like, okay, write a poem, and you can just anonymously write a poem, or go to the bookstore, and it's like, I would like a recommendation. And I looked at the recommendations. It was like, hey, does anybody know a good med school in Wales? It's like, oh, that's really hyper specific. So you could like ask any kind of like recommendation. I asked for a good synthwave band, and I got 3 letters back like today. And I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. And they gave me synthwave bands, and I started looking them up, and I was like, these bands are kind of cool. So they expanded it into just these little prompts. There's some, like, you go to the park, and it's like, oh, hey, if you do, let's all start by like spelling out a word, and then we spell out a word together. People will like put a letter, and then someone else does a letter, and you just kind of do these little chains. So it's actually they've done a lot to expand it, and I've already kind of played a bunch of it just to try to see what I got out of it.
The first Kind Words was something that I was curious about, hearing good things, even if just as an interactive experience, it'd be kind of a novel thing. Just sending and writing letters and trying to give people words of encouragement is a very atypical thing in this kind of medium sometimes. Playing this game, I think the addition of a town area helps a lot, because if it was just the letters, it would probably be more of a one-note experience, something that you dip in, experience and dip out. This seems like something structurally they should even build on top of if they wanted to expand it into a larger city. I don't love the cozy game farm type stuff as much, but I feel like this would be ripe for a similar kind of gameplay loop in tandem with that. And Lo-fi is a perfect way to describe the music. Everything is so chill, moody, just fits the scene really well. And to Alex's point, people talked about pretty heavy stuff in here. One person that had a note talked about how they had severe highs and severe lows, and they'd rather have those than feel normal, because normal felt like nothing. And it's like, that's a pretty heavy thing to talk about, and then to seek some sort of communication back on. So there's a lot of vulnerability inherent in this game too, if people are using it on their intended purpose. I really did like the recommendation stuff inside the bookstore. That was a neat twist, and something that was a lot lighter fare than the other stuff here. I didn't get it, so I sent a few messages out, and believe it or not, the demo closed by now. So if you haven't played it yet, you're gonna have to wait for it to release. But had a very good time with it. Maybe good's the wrong. It was a good experience. All the characters looked like little mix between like Mii's and Animal Crossing characters, and it's all just very cutesy, despite that kind of heavier subject matter. So yeah, it hit my wish list. I think it's an interesting idea, and I'd like to see how they flesh it out from there.
One of the ones that I like, the recommendations, someone was like, I'm trying to make a video game, but I'm trying to make a video game version of Choose Your Own Adventure, and I would like advice on that. And I was like, oh, well, I'm going to reach this game developer and try to talk to them about that. And I did, and they responded back to like, that's fantastic advice, thank you. And I was like, oh, okay, this is kind of cool. Like, it just felt nice to talk to somebody that's completely anonymous without anyone like being a jag. You know, it's getting so heavily moderated because you have to.
Yeah, there's a lot of focus on creating a safe space here for people to be open and honest and vulnerable. And when you think about the way the internet is, especially, and
the internet,
the stuff that trends, the cynicism and the bad intentions that flow from it, it is a nice walled garden from all that.
Yeah, and there was even one section that was just it was a monster. Did you see the void monster?
No, I missed that.
No, missed that.
There's a monster that was just like on the ground, and he goes, "I'm the void monster." My message is, if you send a message, they go nowhere. Like, they're not going to anybody. So here, just scream into the void. And I was like, oh, that's kind of cool that even like at this point you could just type and it just goes, and then no one reads it, it doesn't respond to anybody. It's just to get it out of your system. I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
How long did you spend at the Void Monster?
I tried everything twice.
Okay.
I gave life.
Yeah, I gave everything both a recommendation, received a recommendation. I tried, everything. I tried to do a little poetry. I tried just everything twice and read people's poetry and was like, well, okay, this is all. The prompts really. The original game being what it was, which was just someone needing kind words. I love that idea, but at the same time, it's really just it's a one-stop shop, right? It's all you get. Here you go. Just tell me if you're having a hard time, and we can talk, right? Or you can get some a listening ear, right? And now it's become so much more dynamic. There's so much more to do. There's so much more to actively engage with on just like a level of like, I want some just easy advice. I just want someone to tell me what kind of bands I should listen to. And it's just so it's just really kind of cool that people can do that. Can now there's more to engage with as a community. People were it was funnier, the one thing I saw very heavily on recommendations was fanfics. People were just like, where can I find good? And it was like, whatever genre, fanfics. And then someone else goes, hey, I would also like this anime fanfic. And then someone else, it was just like a lot of like, people are really into fan fiction, I found. So it was just kind of cool that like people are just building their own little tiny communities within this game just because it's the nature of these conversations. I think that's so much bigger than what the original one was. While the other one was such a good, it was a public service almost, and now we're out there making friends. And I like that.
It's funny to think about, because if you think about it, Kind Words 1 could have more or less just been a phone app, right? Rather than an actual full game itself. But I also think that robs the constrained experience that they were probably going for, something a little more private and a little bit more honed in. Whereas if it was like an app or something like that, it probably wouldn't be much more different than if it were a confession website or something like that, right? You guys remember F My Life or FML?
Yeah.
That old website. Yeah.
Hold on, man. I gotta.
That's what it made me think of. Like that website is just a chain of posts, people, confessing or expressing feelings and stuff like that. And
there was one I used to go to, but I think it was like drunk stories, and I can't remember what it was.
Okay. Well, you let us know once you find that. But
he's gonna.
but
I can't remember what that one is.
But yeah, I agree. It needed to be something more than what it was to be, I don't want to say valid, but a meaningful experience to upgrade from. And I think this has potential, and it probably has legs on it too if they really wanted to expand on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, warm and fuzzies, or a little bit of crying? Take your pick.
Text from last night.
Okay.
Yes.
I recall that one.
I remember that.
That sounds vaguely familiar. I feel like that's one of those things that Alex would share back in the day.
I was on here a couple times.
What? Anything that you can share with the internet?
Yeah. But, now I have my evening planned, so.
All right.
Kind Words 2, I recommend to everybody. I can't wait for it to come out. I'm so excited. These people need to support. This game needs support. More ideas need like this. Need to be made that are like this.
Yeah. I'm glad you guys had a good time with it. And now...
What's next?
Well, I don't know. Maybe there's a slight theme? Probably not. Last game that we played for this week was Scarlet Deer Inn. Scarlet Deer Inn. And let me ask you if you also immediately got Studio Ghibli vibes when you started playing this.
Oh, yeah.
I did not.
I have not seen any of those films.
I felt like the character looked a lot
Joel.
like...
Joel.
Uh-huh.
You're effing up now.
I'm what?
You're effing up. You're effing up.
How? What did I do?
How have you not seen any of these movies?
I've had no exposure to them. I don't know what to tell you.
Oh, Joel.
Well, you know
Kelly
what's going
would
to happen
love
now.
You think so?
Kelly would.
She would?
Yes.
Oh, I know so.
Okay. All right.
I would put money on at least one of these films that Kelly would be like, "Oh, that movie was fantastic."
Oh, okay.
Howl's Moving Castle.
All right.
Howl's Moving Castle.
Howl's Moving Castle. That's the rec?
Howls.
Okay.
Howl's.
All right.
Princess
And
Mononoke.
then...
I'm talking about for Kelly, man.
Oh.
Yeah.
I tried to show Spirited Away to Robin, and she got freaked the F out.
Oh, man.
Yeah,
My
as
kids
she
love
should.
Spirited Away. That was awesome.
I mean, within the first 5 minutes, this little girl's parents get turned into giant freakish pigs.
Yeah, that's going to
She
happen
is
to you
not about
someday.
that life.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I've just been informed by the chat that it's Getty's birthday.
That doesn't sound
It
right.
is. It is Getty's birthday. Happy birthday, Getty.
Happy birthday, Getty.
Trying to make this a family-friendly show. Trying to make it through tonight without having to...
Who's
Thank
making
you.
it family friendly?
He wouldn't be
Thank
anywhere
you.
else on his birthday.
Except with my
I
wife.
mean, he'd love to
And
be
I'm
anywhere
sure
else,
That's
but
who
tonight
is
he's here.
sitting downstairs asking, "Where's my wife?"
Absolutely is.
Uh-huh. Thank you, Lisa. All right. So, Scarlet Deer Inn. The premise for it is pretty straightforward. It is I'm going to say, for sure I know that it's a 2D, but light platforming, but also a adventure game of sorts. There's puzzles. So you take the role of the owner of the Scarlet Deer Inn as she is going to go and collect a wonderful tunic for her daughter as a gift. However, you go to do that and then you get tricked, maybe not tricked, that's not the best word, but you get allowed to go and explore some of the village by completing some gopher quests. And boy, are those my favorite kind of quests.
You love Gopher Quests.
I was ready to quit, honestly, with the Gopher Quests.
My problem with the demo, I love the music, visually so appealing. It is gorgeous. The Gopher Quest and how there was not really a good way to know where to go. You were running for quite a while trying to figure out which way to go. And it's not that it was overly difficult because there were only a limited amount of areas that you could go to. It's just it felt like that took a substantial portion of the time that I played. I didn't make it to the end of the demo, but once you get far enough along on the gopher quests, you reach a turning point, and it's like a hook, and it really grabs you and it takes you, and then it does a very good job of not explaining a lot of things that you're like, just random stuff appearing in the world.
Never buy meat from a beekeeper, apparently, is the lesson here.
Wait, I'm very confused.
Okay.
Is this after the murder stuff?
Well, thank you.
I'm not sure if I'd call it spoilers if it's part of an open demo.
Yeah.
But not everybody...
Also, I'm still asking, is this before or after the murder stuff?
Which part?
The stuff appearing, because I only saw the murder stuff, and then I kept going, and then I just got lost, so I stopped playing.
Yeah, that sounds right. It happens after. So
okay.
After you come across the body of a small child that is in a cave, that's as much explanation as you get. You are trying to escape from the beekeeper, who is assumed to have killed this child, and then you are trying to escape from the cave. If you die, then you get dropped back at a part of the game, and there's a woman in white that is there to greet you every time that you come back to life. And not explained. But, I mean, the cave, I wish that there were a couple more checkpoints. I felt like I got pretty far along. It goes into this spot where you can start to unlock gates so that you can go back,
right,
and you can do shortcuts. But if you don't know what you're doing and you're just trying to like easily go about and explore, you're not rushing headlong into it, your torch will go out, and when your torch goes out, you're basically dead in the water.
Yes.
Yep. And did you guys play with headphones?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I did like the thumping heartbeat that went through as the torch got lower and lower, and it just increased. You could feel the anxiety. It was great.
I have loved how so many indie creators have really embraced the art of sound design and integrating it into actual functional gameplay. It's just another great example of that. That whole area, you're right. It could checkpoint more. I'd found that after the first 2 times I died, I knew how to beeline to the next spot. Okay, there's that section that's almost not auto runner, but you're chasing after a little gremlin kind of creature.
Yep.
And they're very easy to not follow along correctly because they got 2 different tracks to start on, and if you go on the wrong track, it's like you get stuck while he walks away. You get stuck in the darkness. There's some platforms that fall and stuff. It felt very, I don't want to say out of place, but it didn't quite match with the tempo of everything else in the game up to that point because there wasn't really any considerable jump platforming beyond that. There were some like box pushes and stuff. But I think mood-wise, that was definitely the turn that got me interested. The first part, the sort of fetch quest back and forth stuff, my initial thought was like, okay, this wasn't what I was expecting. This feels almost more like Pentiment than something that I was looking for. It was when it hit that twist where it really grabbed me and the mystery of it all. That's, if anything brings me to this game more than anything, it'll be wanting to live out the game and experience the unfolding of the story. The thing that drew me in first, a long time ago when it first got announced, the way they advertise this game is that everything is embroidered. And the actual preview of the game, when the devs were talking about it, they showed them actually stitching together the character model on an actual sewing machine. Final product, it doesn't quite hit that style. I mean, it doesn't look like the true embroidery kind of thing that they touted.
That's where I was kind of like confused.
They kind of muted it back a little bit and just has it be sort of a faux, squiggly line kind of appearance to their look a little bit to impress the idea of it being that way. a little disappointing, but sort of a minor quibble, all things considering. But yeah, it's a very nice looking game. It surprised me going back to the sound design. When you're traveling all across the different greenery area, all you're hearing is wildlife. And then near the end, a song starts picking up when things get more dramatic, if I remember right. Because there's a section where when you're in the depths near the end, your child has like it's like a plush horse or something like that, a toy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And you find your child's toy down there. So your character's just like, no, and running out, and that's where the demo ends. So it leaves a lot of mystery to unfold and things to be curious about.
A lot of stuff where it was like, what is going on? Okay, I like some of the stuff that you're doing. I want to know what's going to happen too.
I'm very curious.
Very, very curious.
Yeah.
All right.
Lot to be curious about.
We're all good here? Everybody
Yep.
feels like they've accurately expressed themselves for this week? All right, we can end the podcast and go our separate ways. Nope, just kidding. Let's go ahead and head into a break. Just a little breaky break. This is the news with Super GG Radio. Now with all the games, all the free games, all the 1.0 games, all the Gamescom games, games in your face, Alex.
All the games in your face.
Big dangly games.
Oh, all the big dangly game. I don't like that.
What's a dangly game? Give me an example.
Just like a
Give me an example. Of a
Little
dangly
Nightmares.
game.
Little Nightmares.
yeah. I mean, I like Borderlands 4. They're dangling that one real hard.
Oh, they're dangling Borderlands 4 real hard. It's real dangly. Dangly gangly.
All right, so Alex, explain to me what a Gamescom is and why it matters to us.
Gamescom is it's a big video game journalistic convention in Cologne, Germany. It's like an I'm trying to think of how to put this. It's E3 without being E3.
So it's a good version of E3?
Yes, but in Germany.
And also it exists as opposed to E3, which does not.
What's kind of cool though about it is that like Cologne, Germany, meaning that you have to fly and then take a train. So it was fun to see a lot of the people that we've kind of worked with going into like a lot of train Instagrams and Twitter posts. And I'm like, this is kind of cool that everyone's taking trains there. And a lot of like, oh, this German language is weird, which is there's some good comedy there. But either way, Gamescom is in Germany, and of course, the Keels himself, Jeff Keighley, has decided to take over Gamescom as a thing for him, and so now there's something called ONL, or Gamescom Opening Night Live, and it is just a 2-hour live show of the Keels himself doing the world premiere voice. And then premiering a lot of games.
Oh, yeah?
Yes.
Are we at Peach Keeley yet? Like, are we ready for the fall from grace yet?
Yeah, it turns out he has like a bunch of like, I don't even want to say nothing that like anything I suggest for Keels is not going to go well because it just seems grim. Yeah. We're just going to say that will he get canceled? Maybe, but I'm not ready for it yet. But also, I would not be surprised. I'd say, oh, that seems par for the course.
He's got a look to him. Like when
What kind of look?
Well, let me put it this way. Like, he looks like he's a man that's too tired from knowing too many things.
I mean, he is the keeper of secrets. He gets all the exclusives, the world premieres, if you will.
So
Getty, we got lots of world premieres.
Yeah. Let's run through the world premieres because I know that it's eating you up inside. Alex was nice enough to divert time away from adulting to watch all of these and give us a recap as it was happening. So some of the things
it was 2 hours, man. This is not everything. This is just the stuff that's interesting to us.
This is the highlights of what he wanted to talk about and what we told him he could talk about.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So, running all the way down the line, and some of them are disappearing. All right.
I didn't want to talk about that one. I kind of wrote it down, and I was like, that was uninteresting, honestly.
There was a game called We Harvest Shadows that was announced.
This looks bonkers. This is a work like all the other work likes, but you're on a farm and you're starting from scratch. First person. Think what is it? House Flipper.
Okay.
But the idea is like Stardew. You have a decrepit barn, farm. You got to still picking weeds and planting seeds and getting it all together. There's too many stones and whatnot. But on the cusp of everything you're doing, there's just like a hint of sinister stuff happening on the side, where occasionally you'll be in the barn and you're moving hay bales, and all of a sudden the shadow will crawl across the wall, or you're like, all right, I'm gonna go to bed, and as you walk into your bedroom, there's like a giant eyeball coming out of the bureau. It just seems so weird and cool. Just adding this out there, like, oh, by the way, being completely isolated on a farm does weird stuff to your brain, and I'm like, yeah, probably. Crazy. Let's do that. Let's let me farm, but also slowly go insane.
Mamma mia. That does sound like fun, but also just creepy enough, I guess.
Yeah. I'm into it. Let's get weird.
Next one, there was a teaser for Borderlands 4. Apparently, it's coming out next year.
It was like a 10-second, like, oh, there's a planet exploding, and then the psycho mask, and I was like, okay, and it just says 2025, and I'm like, I guess there's a logo.
Randy Pitchford was like, yeah, you guys don't like all of these big name celebrity Hollywood. Blah, blah. We got a surprise for you.
And it's not an Epic Games exclusive, launching on Steam at the same time.
Yeah.
So you can play Borderlands 4. Will you?
Probably not.
I will.
I should probably play 3.
You should probably play 3. I think you could still get 3 for like $6 leading up until this week. I don't know if that's true anymore.
It's so dirt cheap.
Right now it's
Did it
25?
Jump back up in price. Yeah, it was very cheap for the last couple of weeks to coincide with the movie that Alex and I saw. It was a movie. Moving on.
Wasn't the worst.
It was not the worst.
Monster Hunter was real bad.
Monster Hunter was fine.
Reanimal.
So
Reanimal?
Reanimal. The original Little Nightmares team. They are not. There's a different team making the games now, but the first game was done under a very specific development team. They now have created Reanimal. It is Little Nightmares. I would almost say the characters even look exactly like Little Nightmare characters.
Okay.
But now there was definitely a sheep that was dead, and slowly all the bones started to rebuild themselves until it was alive again, and it was horrifying. Reanimal looks real sick, but it's also, again, one of those. If you know Little Nightmares, this might as well just be another one of those. And I'm into it. I like Little Nightmares, and Getty loves Little Nightmares. So
I do.
Let's do that again, because they're also another team is making
Little Nightmares 3.
Woo!
If you didn't know, it's happening.
What's Little Nightmares?
What?
You don't know what it is?
Nope.
Mm-hmm. Didn't we
Have you ever played Inside?
Nope.
What else did they? What was that other game?
Limbo?
Nope.
Interesting.
I don't play games.
left to right platformer.
Okay.
Very linear, and just the slight tinge of like something horrifying is happening.
Yeah.
But you're going left to right. Occasionally, you have to move a box to be on a puzzle or try to escape a monster. You die, you go back, 5 feet, and then you do it again. Very trial and error. Usually these are 3 to 5 hours long.
Oh, that's not too bad.
But you're being
one.
chased by a disfigured hunter with a paper bag over his head and a shotgun, and he's like limping weird, and you're trying to escape, and then also people are trying to eat each other and stuff in the background. There's a lot of stuff going on with it that's just unnerving enough, and that's Limbo, Inside, the Little Nightmare series. There's a couple other ones. You played American
Arcadia?
Yes.
He did play American Arcadia.
I played American Arcadia, yeah.
American Arcadia is one of those, but just minus the horror.
Yeah, okay.
So if you like that,
it's a different kind of horror.
If you like those game mechanics, of the platforming left to right, you're just kind of doing the thing, then you will like Little Nightmares if you want it to be scary.
Good to know.
Doing the thing. They're pretty
Cool.
good. You can
Little
usually get them
Nightmares
pretty
3
cheap, too.
also has co-op now, if you want.
Huh.
Getty, you want to do that?
Maybe.
Okay.
Is that what we're going to do for Extra Life?
But if you tell me, I'll play it with you. I don't think it's coming out till next year, though.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll have to wait. Big news for Alex. Marvel Rivals free to play December 6th, 2024.
Joel, you in on this with me?
Yeah, fine.
Yeah,
Dude,
fine.
they have a mass res.
That is the first
So-
thing you've said that's interested me in this game.
The characters are all very cool. For me, it's what is interesting to me is to watch them take characters and then map them onto other characters in such a dumb way that I'm like, wow, I guess that's creative. And it's really just a mashup. So there's a character called the Winter Soldier, Captain America's old ally. He's got a robot arm. In this case, they made his robot arm also have tentacles. Robot tentacles come out of it for some reason. So get this, Joel. He can throw bombs that are remote detonators, but then he also can throw his arm out, grab somebody, and pull them close to him.
Sounds familiar.
A little bit.
I'm like, I guess that's all right. That seems pretty fun. Black Widow is going to just be the Widowmaker.
Yeah.
She's going to be a sniper. It's like, okay, cool. I guess it's all fun. It's all silly things that I'm into. That let's mix and match Overwatch to new Marvel stuff, and the designs are cool.
Was she known for being a sniper in the Marvel comics?
She was an assassin,
Kind of.
so part of
Yeah.
it was she was a sniper.
Okay.
But also,
Black Panther can call. He can run up walls, but also he can call in his Panther God, which just slowly goes across the screen and hurts people. That's a Hanzo move for you.
you're playing this. You said fine.
Oh, he did. I'm just laughing at the idea still.
Oh no,
So
I'm not going to feel bad
they're
for
still
Joel.
they're still adding new characters. They're still talking about the new characters. Captain America's in there. They do tank, DPS, and heals. So we'll see how
sure.
it goes.
I'm not getting tricked into this one. Moving on.
Well,
It's free to play,
it has
Getty.
no Gundams in it, so I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
That Gundam one shut down fast.
Yeah.
was not surprised by that.
I was. But anyway, keep going.
Secret Level short films. This is 15 original one-off episodes on Amazon.
Yes.
So the funny thing about this is that they announced it, and Alex was like, "Hey, Getty, how about Keanu Reeves in Armored Core?" And I was like,
Yeah.
"No, I'm good. I played that last Armored Core game." But what he didn't say is that there's other games that they're going to highlight with this, which I would have been much more excited to know
Well, it's
about.
not highlighting. Each episode is a different game.
I know. But
Yeah,
you were
we got-
really caught up on Keanu Reeves and Armored Core.
Oh, everyone
And I
was
was like-
super. The internet freaked out because they're like, Keanu Reeves, also Armored Core? That is sick. But we got a Mega Man now. We got like a little Mega Man mini movie. We got a God of War mini movie. We got a Pac-Man mini movie. We got a lot going on here. These look amazing. And the little short clips they have. The Pac-Man, he's a little metallic ball in the real world eating stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah. So this is potentially a lot of fun.
Joel, there's a Sifu one.
There is, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That CGI animated
That
Sifu.
seems well equipped for this medium. Does that
And
that's
it's also
basically
the
just a
director of the-
movie of a game anyway.
And it's the director of the first Deadpool movie.
Look at that. It has all of the things that are words.
But he's not directing everything. He's just the one who's organizing, putting it all together, and kind of making it one cohesive package.
I mean, the first Deadpool's good.
Yeah, it's arguably the best one.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm
I
of the
don't
same.
know.
I'm of the same opinion.
I'm pretty sure 3 was the best one.
I don't know.
Debatable. 3 I had problems.
One is good because it had low expectations and it was forced
It
to be
did.
creative with the limitations it had.
Anyway, I think that we should. I'm very excited for Secret Levels. This is good. We finally got some good Mega Man content. Someone I know said, "Wow, for the first time ever, Mega Man looks expensive."
Oh,
Yeah, that poor little guy.
Yeah, I was like, "That's funny."
My favorite Mega Man factoid is that Mega Man was in one of the was it Marvel vs. Capcom 3 or one of the Versus games, but it was box art Mega Man. Not like
Oh no, yeah, that was 3.
Yeah.
He was in. He was originally in one of those games, and it was cool because like he had like all the abilities from these games. You get like leaf shields,
Right.
and you could kick a rush ball and stuff like that.
yeah.
It's what we needed. All right. Ready for the last one?
Yep.
Dark Pictures Anthology Directive 8020.
Did you guys get a chance to look at this?
I
no.
read a 5-second blurb that it is The Thing meets Alien on a spaceship.
And Body Snatcher, where there's a lot of clones.
Supermassive.
Yeah, The Thing. I said that.
Supermassive sort of lost me with the last Dark Pictures game. I'm not gonna lie.
What I didn't play that one.
I didn't get a chance to play it either.
It-
It was in a magical time when there were too many games to play.
All clearly, everybody who had worked on those style of games moved over to the Quarry, and that ended up being sort of a underwhelming
Return to form.
third-person action suspense game.
You didn't like The Quarry?
I love the Quarry, but that's the problem. I think all the best people went over to do that while everybody else worked on.
Oh,
It changed the way that the games had played up until that point.
Right.
I
okay,
believe
yeah, okay.
that
I'm on board now.
you had to. Now, I didn't get to the chance to play it, but Joel, in the Devil in
Yes.
Me, you have less agency because the actions that you take don't necessarily save anyone.
Correct.
Right? Like everybody's pretty much gonna die because it's supposed to play out like a Saw movie. I believe that was the premise for it.
Yeah, it just
Oh.
it took away everything that you would expect out of a Dark Pictures game,
Which is trying to save everybody and
and having dialogue choices that feel like they matter and little things like that. Yeah, it felt more like a faux Resident Evil without the zombies chasing after you.
just a creepy guy.
Just
I think.
yeah, just a creepy looking mansion and some creepy dude. Yeah.
Named Craig. Again, don't know if that's true. I haven't played that game. Don't listen
It's
to
a
me.
sequel to Click Holding.
But this looks good though. This one looked kind of neat. The idea of like the thing, right? Just being like you don't know what to expect or who's what or where. That seems pretty cool to me. That's in space.
Space. But that gives me some feels of Until Dawn, when I guess now that they're remaking it,
we had to be more sensitive to spoilers again.
Yeah, I guess I shouldn't try and spoil anything. All right, I'm moving on to our 1.0 for the week. Y'all see that Tactical Breach Wizard went 1.0 today?
Oh,
yeah, it did.
yeah.
It did.
Bought
It's got some
installed.
pretty good... Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. I'll play it.
Adding one to the buy list.
Yep.
What happened to the bow, the Path of the Teal Lotus?
I need to look up some walkthroughs because I'm kind of stuck at the moment.
Okay.
The buy list is a real thing.
Apparently.
It seems like it's just a wish list.
Ender Lilies. Just going to throw that out there. And then, last piece of news here. Goodbye to Flamebait Games.
Flamebait Games this morning announced that they're kind of done making games. They're just going to slowly close out their whole projects that they've been working on. We originally knew them. I had talked about a game called Velvet Swing, where you're like a Spider-Man swinging around, but they also did the game, what was it? But we all played it where you had to build amazingly crazy, zany weapons, and then you would go into an arena and fight with said weapons.
Yes.
Forge and Fight.
That's the one.
And then they made two other little indie darlings called Passepartout and Passepartout 2. Those are games where you are essentially it's a Microsoft Paint simulator. You're like a painter, and they give you Microsoft Paint tools, and you make a painting, and then people will say, "I want you to paint with make some fruit in there," and then you do that, and then they buy your art. But it's a little silly game, but it's also just kind of got a little bit of heart in there because they're giving you goals, and the whole point is that your character's kind of a starving artist. So Passepartout 1 and 2, Forge and Fight, and Velvet Swing. Flamebait, after many years, is just saying that they want to move on to other things.
Okay. Heavy way to close the regular news segment before we get into the one part of the podcast that always makes me smile, the freebies.
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 Wah, 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 wah.
Okay.
We did all the sound effects.
Hit me, Getty.
First one, gigantic Rampage edition over on the Epic Game Store.
A 5v5 MOBA hero shooter. A MOBA hero shooter.
Yeah.
All right, it's a MOBA. If you know what a MOBA is, Massive Online Battle Arena. You are in a battle arena. You're trying to defeat each other's ancients. You know, like the Defend of the Ancients, Warcraft. You are each have a base with enemies, and you're going through and killing towers. But it's a MOBA. Enjoy. Gigantic Rampage Edition.
And it's free.
Choose a unique hero and team up with other players to control objectives. It's cross-platform.
All right. Something for everybody. Next up, the Callisto Protocol over on the Epic Game Store.
You like that Dead Space remake? Now here it is, but worse. Enjoy.
That's it.
Harsh.
Don't say anything else. No, it's accurate.
Oh, okay.
It's exactly what it... All right. Next one. Elawar Fused Survivors over on Steam.
Y'all like Vampire Survivors?
Joel does.
Use your elemental powers to defeat terrifying monsters while slowly becoming a godlike magician. Packed with challenging events, deep ARPG-like systems, and hardcore difficulty. 25 plus spells, 300 plus unlocks, 120 upgrades, and over 30 random events, and much, much more.
All right, fine.
Much, much more. And the price is right. It's free.
Free 99.
Last one for this week, Omega Strikers on Steam.
This has been on here before. It is essentially anime soccer. Lightning fast 3v3 free-to-play game. Squad up with friends and choose from a growing cast of colorful strikers to sling slimes, toss tofu, and rocket boost to victory. This just looks kind of cool. The art looks cool. The anime characters are pretty fun, well designed. This is already in my library though, but it is in there for a reason.
It is in his library. He can't get it for free again until he opens a new Steam account.
Yep.
For Robin.
Which is never going to happen. Yes. That's El's situation. Just open one for Robin.
Mm-hmm.
She don't get mine. No one gets mine.
We'll get it. It's going to be left to the Super GG Radio.
And then it'll go to whoever donates the most money to Patreon.
Yeah, we could do that too, I guess. And how much money worth of games is that, Alex?
Let's not get into this. Come on, get it. Let's keep it.
All right. That'll be it for the news. We're gonna scramble into a break and try and figure out our last segment of the night. We'll be right back. We're back with the Backlog Blog, where we play games that Alex bought last week. He's going to tell us about Crime Scene Cleaner, which is, in fact, a game that we played on this podcast in demo form.
I just wanted to bring this up just because I'm having so much fun with it. This is my new I'm in a meeting game. It's just relaxing to have everything. You walk into it. It does remind me a little bit of Viscera Cleanup Detail, where I open the doors to like an apartment and there's just gore everywhere. It's like, what happened here? Oh wait, this is a serial killer. Well, I guess I got to clean up after a serial killer. They are paying me $15,000. And you end up just like, okay, let's just get the mop, get the bucket, and let's go to town with a sponge. They have a weird if they the what's it, the Sponge Daddy?
Mm-hmm.
Scrub Daddy. That's in this game. It's weird.
But it's a frowny face, right?
They reference it. Like they say, I better get the Scrub Daddy. It's like, what?
That's awesome.
Why are we doing this?
Product placement.
Yeah, I don't know why. And it also has a power washer. Not nearly as satisfying as Power Wash Simulator.
Why should it be? That game is about power washing. This is about cleaning.
Yes, but at the end of the day, I still got a mop. I still got a sponge. I still got a mop bucket. I have a power washer, and I am doing the dang thing. It's what's fun about it though is that it's they kind of add these side objectives for exploring the space. They give you reason to do so. Right now I'm in a spa. And the spa has all these lockers that are locked, but throughout the whole level are little keys. And the little keys will get me into the lockers, which give me things to like gives me cash. And the cash turns into experience, which I can level up. Or they give me more information about the world and what's happening within like this crime scene. Or there's even like you're supposed to collect a certain amount of evidence points for like a better score. And they'll give me bonus evidence that I can use for a better score on my cleaning. And then they also just have like these like secret rooms. And those are just fun to find because they're like, again, little puzzles that I found a gardening shed in an apartment complex by shimmying around the building. And I found like one of those electric lifts. And it just like, I'm like, oh, I found the garden shed. And the gardener has his own like wacky story with an audio log that has nothing to do with anything except for like, oh, this character's kind of messed up. That's also crazy. And like the guy, your guy reacts to everything. So that he listens to the gardener thing and he goes, man, I have nothing else to say. And just like walks away. I'm like, oh. So it's not only just a cleaning, picking up garbage, doing the thing. It's also a little bit more life in there where you're supposed to do other parts to the job, and also just you get rewarded for exploring.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I didn't expect there to be like such a complicated EXP system and all of these other things that you can find. I guess I was just expecting it was like, all right, you got to clean, and then it just pushes the story along. But that's kind of neat.
And it does also do the thing where it's like, oh, you get an email from your daughter who is at a special school for her hospital because she's very sick and you have to pay for her bills, and also your wife died, and it's like, oh, this is they're trying really hard to say like your character's not despicable, he just doesn't have a choice.
He's got to do it for the money.
Yeah. So it's kind of nice there. Between each level is like a little, okay, you're at home now, and it's like check your emails and then give your dog little scratchy scratches. So it's kind of cool. And I like the fact that there is a little bit extra there for me, aside from like, okay, I have to fill up my garbage. Oh wait, my garbage bag is full. I have to put this and dispose this in the dumpster and then get a new bag. Yeah. So I like it. I think that I'm going to be milking this one for a bit, trying to get all the DLC and do that because it's a good time. It's just a good time.
If you're into cleaning, this is probably it. You're in your heyday. I know that Joel is really looking forward to ending this episode, but I promised him that I would subject him to something tonight.
You did?
Yeah, at the start of the podcast. So before we can get to one last thing, I have for you a worst to first that I would like you to complete tonight.
I was really hoping you had just forgotten about that, to be honest.
Nope.
We're doing worst to first.
We're doing worst to first.
Right.
So for those of you that are unfamiliar with this segment, this will be the second time that we're doing it. But what I'm going to do is give Joel 5 games, and I want him to rank them based on a criteria from the worst to the best. All right, are you ready for your games and your premise for the night?
Fire away.
All right, your premise is first to worst based on, or worst to first based on jumping mechanics.
Interesting.
All right?
Okay.
All right. I am sending it to the chat right now. I will still read them off to you, but this is so that you can see all of them. All right, so you need to rank Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Hollow Knight, Celeste, Super Mario 64, and Titanfall 2.
You're mean.
I know. I was like, yeah, Alex, this is a good one.
That's mean. Okay.
I need a definitive list. You have... Call it a minute, 2 minutes?
This is unfair because this is clearly fighting against like nostalgia versus legit top tier platforming in the gaming sphere. Man, you're mean.
I try.
Oh boy. I hate to do it.
All right, so what's the worst one?
I hate to do it, but I think Sonic the Hedgehog 2
Is
worst.
Worst.
All
It's
right.
the worst.
The worst.
I love Sonic. I was a Sonic kid growing up, but like, man, Sonic's jumping is bad. I mean, like the momentum. You get used to the momentum and speed, and that's how you get acquainted with it. But you get halfway through any Sonic game, and you are fighting the controls, and it does not feel good a lot of the time. 4 would be Titanfall 2.
Okay.
That one is just as much about me not being a super fan of first-person shooters and first-person platforming as much as anything else. I liked the idea of it in Mirror's Edge more than in practice when I played around with it. But I think it's a very cool thing. Celeste has to be number 3. It is
Okay.
akin to Super Meat Boy in that it is that very heavy. It's a very light jump, but a very heavy fall back down to earth with that. But there's a nice flow to it, especially when you get to things like wall jumps and double jumps and stuff like that to string them together. 2 and 1.
That's the
Which, by the way, I have the list already for you. Like, I'm counting. I'm writing it down as
Okay.
you're marking them.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Boy.
Which one is
Hollow
it?
Knight
Which
2,
one's
Super
gonna
Mario
lose?
64 1.
Wow. Okay, Super Mario 64 is the best feeling jump, or not even feeling, best jump.
Yes.
It's your best jump.
Okay.
Best jump.
Okay, so let's read them off here. Number 1, Super Mario 64. 2, Hollow
Yep.
Knight. 3, Celeste. 4, Titanfall 2.
I take that back. Switch Titanfall 2 and Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Wow. Okay. Okay, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 at number 4. And then Titanfall 2.
I can't
at number
I can't
5.
sandbag Sonic like that. That's a bridge too far.
I was gonna say you were gonna do Sonic like that. Ooh.
But Mario 64 still has some of the best jumping, and I mean the platforming stinks because of the camera settings, but he has all Mario games past that use that as a template and it still works. So yes, that has to be one.
Okay.
Okay.
That is your worst to first. How do you feel? You feel good about that? All right. That was the goal.
Yeah, thanks, Daddy. Mission accomplished. That
Perfect.
God, because like another
just
day,
looking
I
at
would
it.
maybe swap a few of those out. You know?
No,
It's funny
this
you
is-
just look at it and you're like, I still don't even like this list. This
No,
list is gross.
it feels like I've hurt everybody I care about.
And that is the point. That is what worst to first should do. Oh. All right. We did it. We can move on to one last thing. All right, one last thing, and this week's one last thing is brought to you by me. I'm bringing it to you. You're welcome.
Thank you, Daddy.
My one last thing, I really want to sit down and play some games, and I know that I need to play Ender Lily, but I think this weekend I might just have to play something else. I don't know what, but I'll let you know.
Yep.
Or, you know what? My one last thing should have been whatever Alex gifted me, which I'm scared to open.
Happy birthday, Gaddy. Last game I gifted you was Sexy Suika game.
Yeah. Yeah, it was.
Open
Did you play it?
Open it.
Did
Oh,
you play
yeah,
it?
I'm still working on it. I got
You're
a
still,
watermelon.
You're still working on Sexy Suika game?
I got a watermelon, but you need to get 2 watermelons to get an achievement.
I get it. I see what they did there.
Yep. Alex
yeah.
sent you a gift, and it is Little Kitty Big City. Thank you, Alex.
No problem.
I will accept this gift privately so that nobody knows about it.
I thought it would be a fun game for you and the missus.
I think that she'll enjoy watching me jump around and meow at stuff, right?
Yep.
Okay, Alex, what do you got?
I'm playing really only 2 games, and that's Ender Lilies and Crime Scene Cleaner. They both they get me. They get me. I got nothing else to say. That they just get me. Also, Borderlands movie, not as bad as other ones. Other ones you really would have to pay me to go see. I would watch Borderlands when hungover and not fully paying attention.
What is the worst video game movie you'd be fine paying for?
Paying for.
Paying for? Oh, paying for. Let me see. I have my list here.
How much is pay?
Movie ticket price.
Oh,
Like a $5 matinee?
Let's
Does that
let's
count?
split the difference and say $7.
Oh, and this is after, you mean seeing it again, right?
Yes.
Seeing it again. Five Nights at Freddy's.
That's not a bad one.
I should see that.
No, I thought it was fine, but it's number 7 on my list. And I don't think that, or no, I'm sorry, not 7. It's number 11 on my list. So I don't think that I would want to. I wouldn't pay for Sonic the Hedgehog 2. I wouldn't pay for Prince of Persia, despite Jake Gyllenhaal's amazing biceps. Uncharted, I wouldn't pay for that.
You know, I might pay for Uncharted, but I would also be drunk.
Yeah, I wouldn't pay for Warcraft, despite how good that story is. It's also kind of boring. Max Payne, no. Yeah, anything after that. Max Payne, Assassin's Creed, I wouldn't pay for. End of list.
End of list.
Yeah, I mean, I would pay like $20 for Detective Pikachu again.
Oh, easily. I would see that on the big screen.
Hell yeah. I remember we did watch it on the big screen.
Yeah,
but I don't remember much of it because Steve gave me way too many edibles.
Mm-hmm. And he kept talking about how pretentious Psyduck was.
And then at the end of the movie, after he gave us way too many edibles, he goes, "You know, I realized about 30 seconds into that movie, I'm not sure I know what a Pokemon is." I was like, "Man, Steve, that's a weird choice to see this movie." Though
He was having a great time.
on a lot of edibles, man.
Joel,
I'm still reeling a little bit from worst to first, but we talked a little bit about it earlier. But I'm still churning through Nine Souls. Great game. I'm worried that I'm gonna finish it, but I'm worried about the when it's gonna happen. Just I keep on getting stuck, and you made a very good game that has made me angry a few times. Red Candle Games. So, congratulations. You will get that review eventually.
Over my cold dead body.
Maybe.
I hope that's not the case.
It might kill you.
They shouldn't. Alec?
I got a whole lot of nothing this week. I just rebuilt my computer, and you know, maybe I'll play one of those games I bought last week or this week.
Or
and
this week.
No, just buy more games.
Just buy more games.
And don't forget about Ender Lilies.
Definitely won't.
For sure, we need to do that next month.
Yep.
I'm holding you to it.
Oh, yeah. Just, you know.
Joel is the one who hasn't started
True.
it.
For all we know, he could have finished it.
How dangerous a game am I playing if I try to play both that and Nine Souls at the same time?
Ooh.
I feel like you're going to get lost in the sauce with those maps, man.
It's all about the maps.
Yeah, it is.
All right. That'll be it for this week's episode of Super GG Radio. Before we go, you can find us on X at Super GG Radio and twitch.tv/Super GG Radio, where Thursdays, hey, we're online. We did a podcast.
Woo!
You're welcome.
I don't know why we should celebrate that, but I feel dirty celebrating that. Yeah, check us out. Please, please, please come and watch us. If that's not your cup of tea, you can always come in on Wednesdays. Every other Wednesday, Alex is going to be doing some Drunk Souls. That is him playing Dark Souls and taking a drink every time he dies, or when he's thirsty, I guess.
Nope, I was refraining from drinking anything from thirsty. It was only out of pure punishment.
Pure punishment. Okay.
I will also say that on alternating weeks, because I need some weeks to recover, me and Joel will be doing the Itty Bitty Indie Committee.
Yeah,
starting next week.
You agreed to that name.
Less agreed and more gotten worn down and stopped fighting.
Yep.
It works for kids. Why not?
I got to pick a game for us to play.
You got plenty. You got a whole list.
But be prepared for you're going to be sitting there with me for the full game.
Okay.
The whole game.
Yep, let's do this.
Even if the internet goes out, you have to log back in on your phone.
You know, it sounds like a great time to buy Power Wash Simulator.
You can't be playing another game.
He can.
That's not how this
There's
works.
nothing that says that he can't be playing.
You're on
You won't
cam,
know what I'm
sir.
doing.
You will be on camera. You will be on camera.
He can do it. He just won't be looking at you. And then, Joel, you'll have to remind me. You're doing Mass Effect, but you're doing it not at night. You're doing it during the day
on Tuesdays for the time being.
On Tuesdays.
Being the bad guy.
He's going to do it. He's going to make it through Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3.
In that order.
Probably.
And you'll never play that other horrible one.
Andromeda?
It's not that bad.
I don't know. I watched I watched Steve play for 30 seconds, and I didn't watch so many things break into his game.
All right. I didn't say it was perfect. I just said it's not that bad. Yeah. If you'd like to reach us with questions or input, our email address is mail@superggradio.com, and provide us a review on iTunes or the podcast app of your choice. We also have a Patreon where you can get monthly pictures of our dogs, get your name read off as an executive producer, like right now at the end of the show. You get free copies of Early Adopters. You can even get a chance to play games with us human beings who are definitely not AI, and yeah, that's a thing that can happen.
Do you think we have enough hours logged on Vocals where we could use AI to generate a whole episode?
Yes.
Probably.
Yes. I feel very confident in that,
Okay.
yes.
I don't want to think about you putting our voices into an AI and having that.
I already have multiple buttons for multiple people here.
I don't know that generative AI works with audio content right now. I think you would need, you could do a deep fake of it maybe, where you're feeding in what you want it to say.
This is turning less fun.
Yeah. I think you'd have to transcribe
Alec,
it.
we don't need your logic. I have multiple buttons with multiple catchphrases from all of you.
I don't believe you.
I could replace you all.
I know that he has them for me, but
Yeah,
we all know that he has them for me.
I doubt me.
Oh, yes. You say a lot of incriminating things, Alec.
Yeah.
not even all on air. That's the worst part. All right, thanks for listening, and good game, Alex.
GG Getty.
Good game, Joel.
Good game.
Good game, Alec.
GG.